don't grab with your thumbs, just traditional gable grip, drawing the elbows in. This hand is palm facing up. Okay, reason being is this is a good rule of thumb because when he goes to want to defend my single leg, one of the first things he's going to want to do is attack my grip. So if I have this palm facing down, okay, it's easy for him to pull up and separate that grip and then start freeing himself from the single. Okay, that goes whether we're on our knees or we're on our feet too. Okay, because he's still going to want to attack that grip. So when I go palm facing up on this side, sucking the elbows in, okay, nice and tight, he goes to pull up on my wrist, just makes it a little bit harder. Okay, it's not impossible to break the grip, but it makes it a little bit harder for him because he's running, he's not breaking where the grip opens, he's going against it. Okay, so gable grip is going to be a really good option for us in this case. It's a good, very strong grip, allows us to suck that leg in nice and tight, and we have a nice strong lock over here. Second to the gable grip, okay, and a little bit stronger than the gable grip, but not always, you can't always get it, okay, because we have to be really in tight on the legs, wrist to wrist. So I go wrist over wrist in the same way that I did with the gable grip. This is even stronger than the gable grip, and the good thing about this is because see how I kind of curl my wrists over, okay, and that just makes it much, much harder for him to separate that grip, okay, even more so than the gable grip. If he was to pull on my bottom wrist, yeah, good, very, very difficult for him to pull that up, and I'm going to be able to come up easily on that leg, okay. The reason why sometimes it's a little bit harder to get to this is because sometimes when I'm actually engaging with him and I'm actually shooting it on the leg, I'm not always going to be in a perfect position over here, so it might be hard to get this, okay, but it's a good thing to shoot for. So gable grip, and in the same way that we do the gable grip, we just go wrist over wrist and I roll my wrists in, and same concepts apply, everything else is the same. Elbows are in, sucked in nice and tight, and that's what's going to allow us to keep this grip for a longer period of time and have a strong control over here of the leg, okay? Next grip that I'm gonna make here is gonna be hand over wrist grip, okay? Again, same way that we grip with the gable grip that we did with the wrist to wrist grip, I'm gonna come with that back hand, the one that comes behind him is covering my top hand, and I'm in here nice and tight, okay, drawing those elbows in, okay? For that same reason, if I put this hand on top, it's pretty easy to see here that if Ty pulls up on my wrist, that's going to pop up, okay? So we want to keep this concept alive throughout all of our close-handed grips, okay, when we're actually connecting our hands together. So we went over gable, no thumbs, palm to palm, sucking in, inside front hand, palm facing up. Wrist to wrist, same idea, except we go wrist over wrist and we curl our fingers, our hands over, and we lock in nice and tight, okay? Elbows drawn in. Hand over wrist. The inside hand, the front hand is palm down. My hand from behind comes over. Same idea. I'm sucking that leg in. And all these locks are above the knee. Okay, that's important to note. We're not below the knee. Okay, especially, for the fact that he doesn't have shoes, it's pretty easy for him to limp out of this. Okay, so we want to always lock above the knee and really control that knee line. So this hand's coming in, the other hand's coming over top, and we're sucking it in, okay? And those are the three primary close-handed grips that we're going to use. When we talk about hand positioning for the single leg, doesn't always have to be close-handed grips, okay? There's a few other variations that we're going to look at later on in the video that's going to depend on the entry, but just from this finishing position, 3 close-handed grips and 1 open-handed grip that I like is hand high and hand low. One above the knee, controlling right at the quad. The second one below the knee, snaking around the calf. Okay, and you can just keep this like that. Yep, good. So I'm coming here and I'm coming here. Okay, this is good for the fact that even though I don't have my hands locked, okay, I'm still drawing my elbows in, and it makes it harder for him to get this leg away from me. Okay, because sometimes when I'm here, he's going to want to, if he can put this leg back, yeah, he can move that calf away. So when I go one high, one low, and I control the calf, it just makes it more difficult for him, and I can control that leg easier, and that allows me to then come up. Okay, so gable grip, wrist over wrist, hand over wrist, or one high, one low. Okay, and those are the primary grips that we're going to look at. Those are the primary ones that you want to play around with and start working with and seeing how you feel with those. And then there's going to be some variations that we're going to look at later with the lapels. The reason why we're going to look at those later is because it's going to depend a lot on the entry specifically. Okay, so we'll go over those in a little bit more detail, but those are the 4 main grips that we're going to look at from the single leg. All right, guys, so we're breaking down the single leg piece by piece, okay, and we're starting off in the single leg position itself, okay, the finishing position, where the position where you actually have the leg down on the ground. But when we're talking about a single leg, okay, I don't want to stay on the ground for very long, okay? I have my entry, doesn't matter where it starts from, okay? I ultimately end up in a position where I have to connect myself to my training partner's leg, but I'm not here for more than a second, even a half second, okay? And that's a very important thing to keep in mind, is that you're not, I mean, I'll say shooting, but it's not always going to be shooting from a standing position. Sometimes you're going to shoot from, we're going to wrestle up, and we're going to see that later, but when we're getting to the single leg, we're not trying to get here, we're trying to get to our feet. Okay, and that's an important distinction to make, because from here, he can still beat me in this position. Okay, if I don't do a good job at standing up and actually getting his leg off the floor, right now he's 2 feet on the ground. Okay, so he can still balance. He still has a lot of defense that he can go into and stuff that he can do from here. He can counter, okay, and he's higher than me. Okay, and that's important to understand. He's not off balance. In order for me to take him down or to sweep him, I have to keep him off balance. The only way that I'm going to do that in a single leg is if I get this leg off the floor. So I have to pick this leg up. So super important that we understand the concept of driving and this drive leg, okay? So this is going to be what propels us to get to our feet quickly, okay? The most common mistake I see people make when they start to pick up the leg is, I get to the leg here, and this leg comes forward, and then I stand up. Do you see what's happening? Everything that we talked about in the last clips has been lost, okay? I've lost my elbow positioning and my hand positioning. My arms are not fully extended, which just means that they're weaker. My back muscles are disengaged, okay? If I want to draw my elbows into my body from here and he makes his leg heavy, it becomes super difficult, okay? I have to do like a full rowing motion to get myself in. So I'm putting myself in unnecessary trouble here, and unnecessary difficulty. When I get to the leg, as soon as I lock my hands, that takes nothing but a split second. I come in, I lock my hands, I'm driving off this leg, and I'm coming up. See how he hopped? Okay? So this isn't an explosive movement, okay? It doesn't require a lot of explosiveness, I should say. It is an explosive movement, but it's explosive within technique. Because if I just try to grab his leg and explode to stand up and he knows how to defend properly, I'm not going to get the leg, okay? So I need to focus my energy in driving through this leg, not bringing it forward and trying to stand up, okay? So that leg is here, my hands are locked, I got in position, I'm driving off this leg, and he's hopping, okay? When I'm standing up too, I don't want to keep myself in this position for too long, okay? Nobody's going to be able to hold on to a single leg for that long, okay? When he's fully resisting with the same size, same weight, same belt level, you're in a competition, he doesn't want to get taken down, okay? He's going to do as much as he can to put pressure on that grip. So if I just stand stagnant when I stand up, eventually this is going to start coming loose and I'm going to start losing, okay, the integrity of the position. I want to constantly have him thinking about his base. So as we explode up, notice how I got him hopping. That means that I did a good job at getting the weight from this leg to that leg. Okay, so the leg that I want is light. I drive through him. Watch the shift. That's the drive leg. See that? Okay, so just don't step. So he's leaning. This leg's light. My drive leg propels me forward, and then I'm moving him. Okay, I'm not staying stagnant, so I can go straight to my finish. So we always want to practice when you're drilling, shooting to a strong finishing position. Don't just grab the leg and just be comfortable standing there. Shoot to the finish. So let's say, for example, I just go into a swinging single here. I don't want to stay here. As soon as I come here, I'm locking up and I'm driving. and I'm coming up. As soon as I'm coming up, I'm still sucked in. My position hasn't changed. I'm still in good posture. I'm still drawing my elbows in. That keeps my back strong. And then from here, I'm moving him. I'm pulling him. I'm getting him hopping. And then I'm going to be able to go into my finishes. Okay, so just that concept of keeping him hopping on that leg is super important if you want to be effective with the single leg. Okay, if you want to finish a single leg. Okay, so one more time. We get to the single leg, the importance of this drive leg. I can't talk about it enough because people don't utilize this enough, that back leg. That's why people's shots get stuffed a lot very easily, among other reasons, but it's super important. Common mistake, I see this all the time when people are learning, stepping the leg forward. Be disciplined about keeping this leg here and using it to propel yourself. You really want to find the mat, find that friction, and drive straight off of it. So we're not down on our knee for more than a second. As soon as you drop to a knee, you connect your hands, we're right back up. And I'm pulling him. And he's hopping. And now he's not going to be focused on keeping this leg heavy. Okay, and that's the key. Is the leg that I'm holding, I want it to be light, I want it to be effortless, the stand up. So that's only going to happen if I drive off of that back foot and I keep him hopping once I stand up. So let's put everything together. We talked about the grips, we talked about our positioning down on the ground. Now we talked about driving up and actually picking the leg up. Now let's talk about how we want to position ourselves on the feet, okay? So we're going through this. I got down on the leg. I have good position, drive leg. My body's stacked, I'm connected to him. My head's forward, not down, or I'm not looking down. My eyesight's forward. I'm driving through my training partner off of that drive leg. And then from here, we're coming up. Okay, see how I get him hopping? Same thing as before, okay? So let's talk about how I want to position myself when I'm on my feet over here, okay? So when I get to this position, and as I mentioned before, it's gonna be hard for me to hold this position for a very long time when he's defending, okay? So I wanna practice, one, coming up straight up to my feet as quickly as possible when I drill this, okay? Once you start to get it down, get into a rhythm of it, you wanna get from there, from your knees, you want to drive straight up off the ground and get to the standing position, okay? When I get here, guys, everything is the same in terms of my elbows, my grip, everything's being sucked in, and I'm using my back muscles to keep my back straight. So when I'm here, guys, what I want is, look at my head position, okay? My temple, okay, is right in my training partner's pec, okay? I don't want my head down here close to the hip. So this is a common thing that I see. Makes it much easier for him to push my head away. Makes it much easier for him to start attacking guillotines. Okay, if he wants to, he can start getting a hold of my neck in various ways and then start attacking me from there. Okay.